News that's coming in at the moment. Amid Donald Trump's global tariff war, United States tells the G7 to punish India and China with tariffs. United States has, in a statement to G7, said slap tariffs on nation buying oil from Russia. U.S. Treasury Scott Bessent has said impose penalties on nations having energy trade with Moscow. Cutting off Russian revenue will end the war that Russia has with Ukraine. The G7 said they will explore options to end the Ukraine war. So this is the double speak that we are now seeing out in the open. It's the US which is now asking the G7 to punish India as well as China with penalties and with tariffs. Slap tariffs on nations that are buying oil from Russia. US Treasury Scott Bessent in a statement said one needs to impose penalties on those nations that are having energy trade with Moscow. Cutting off Russian revenue will end the war. The G7 has responded. They have said they will be exploring options to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. My colleague Pranay Upadhyay is now joining me on the story. Pranay, we are seeing Donald Trump's global tariff war taking place. On one side, he's saying that he has good conversation with Prime Minister Narendra Modi with India. But on the other side, it's the United States of America telling the G7 to punish India as well as China because both these nations have been buying oil from Russia.
You're absolutely right, Aishwarya. And if you see, this is typical and classic blow hot, blow cold policy of President Donald Trump and his administration. On one side, he talks about resolving issues with India, having good relations, and praising Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his relation with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his friendship with India. But on the other side, his team is putting pressure on India and, in fact, calling out India as a country which is fueling so-called the Russia's war against Ukraine, which is not the case, overlooking the fact that China is the biggest buyer of the Russian oil, and not only India and China. In fact, the European countries to whom Mr. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary of the United States, is pursuing and asking them to punish these countries, they are buying. In fact, the European Union has the larger and the bigger oil and gas import from Russia. So this remains a dual policy as far as these issues are concerned. But yes, definitely, we cannot overlook the fact that India's the merchandise export and merchandise trade with the G7 countries, which include the United States as well as the other European countries, including all the Western nations, that has increased the merchandise trade between the India and G7,